How can we improve performance? This is the same question coaches, athletes and scientists around the world have asked for hundreds of years. Athletes tend to focus on two main areas when they're looking to take their game to the next level. The first area is improving their physiology. Athletes lift weights to build muscle so they can lift heavier or be more explosive. They complete paced intervals to develop the right muscle fibers so they can run further or more powerfully. The idea being that if your muscles are more developed with a greater number of muscle fibers and a more efficient respiratory system than your competitors, this will lead to success. The second area athletes focus upon is their equipment. The equipment used will vary from sport to sport, but the underlying idea is the same. If you can have the latest equipment, which is lighter or stronger than your competitors, that gives you the edge come competition day, and you have a greater chance of being successful. For example, in endurance sports, this might be the lightest bike frame, the greatest sweat-wicking clothing, or the most supportive shoes. It can even spread off the competition field, with athletes looking for extra advantages in many ways, ranging from ensuring they have the perfect bed in order to get a good night's sleep, to purchasing the latest electrostimulator to boost recovery. Now, having the latest equipment and training techniques will improve performance, no question. But there's a problem. The problem with focusing on these two concepts is that there's a ceiling point at which the gains made become marginal, as does the competitive advantage over your competitors. For example, let's take training techniques. When you first started your sport, all of your skills were underdeveloped. So when you stuck to a training program for a while, you improved a lot. Big gains equal bigger performances. Then once your skills develop to a decent level, it takes a lot more time and dedication to see further significant improvements. You will, however, still continue to progress, but once you're competing at a high level, it takes an incredibly long time to make gains, because your skills are so developed that there's less room for improvement. Less room for improvement equals fewer performance increases. When you reach this stage, you're ploughing a lot of time into training for a very small amount of increased performance. In terms of your time, it's very expensive. The same pattern emerges when you start to look at upgrading your equipment. When you first started your sport, you might have had a basic bike frame, cheap cricket bat or worn tennis racket. They're all perfectly functional, but they limited your performance. Consequently, when you upgraded to a better version, your performance levels improved significantly. And then once you reach this point, it takes a lot more financial investment of equipment to influence your performance, and the increase won't be as extreme. You may end up spending a lot of money, but for a very small increase in performance. Furthermore, because most other athletes are so focused on these two areas, no one really gets an advantage over one another. Most athletes are training 6 days a week. They are all working on their weaknesses and improving their strengths. Because everyone is doing this, the overall standard of performance are increasing, but no one is really gaining an advantage over everyone else. Just the standard of performance is improving for everyone. But there is an often neglected third category, the mental game. This allows athletes to experience substantial improvements in performance and gain an edge over other athletes. Similar to the examples above, when you first use sports psychology techniques, you see an immediate and significant increase in performance levels. But unlike buying the latest equipment or using the latest training methods, you don't reach a plateau. The more you learn, the more you practice, the greater the level of performance improvements you see. Now, unfortunately, the majority of athletes don't think to use sports psychology to take their game to the next level. So, this will give you an edge. Not only can you experience a significant increase in your performance levels in a short space of time because you're starting to explore sports psychology, but you'll have an advantage over your competitors, which will make all the difference when competition day rolls around. If you combine the benefits of having excellent training discipline, decent equipment, and the strongest mindset, then you truly have the opportunity to unlock peak performance. Recent research has suggested that psychological factors dramatically increase the likelihood of us giving up during competitions, which of course will limit our chances of success. it's highly likely that you've actually experienced this factor and it's limiting your performances right now, but you've never realized the impact that it's having. This workshop is going to use sports psychology techniques to overcome the factors that might be reducing your potential. This workshop is designed to do two things. The first is to help you identify when this key factor is affecting your performances during training and competitions, and then I'll show you a simple yet effective technique you can use to overcome this problem, so you can unlock your peak performance. So to find out more about what limits your performance and prevents you from becoming the athlete you know you can be, click the continue button above this video.